A truth that has the power to redefine the way you see yourself, your challenges, and your destiny. It is this: bravery means finding something more important than fear. That single sentence may sound simple, but if you truly understand it, it can unlock doors you thought were forever closed. Because bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is not about being born with nerves of steel. Bravery is not about never trembling, never doubting, never hesitating. Bravery is about priority. It is about deciding that there is something in your life, your dream, your values, your love, your mission that matters more than fear. And when you find that something, when you anchor your soul to it, fear loses its power. Fear may still whisper, but it no longer controls. Fear may still knock, but it no longer drives. Fear may still exist, but it no longer defines you. Let us begin by acknowledging a truth. Fear is not evil. Fear is natural. Fear is human. Fear is built into our very biology. Fear kept our ancestors alive when danger lurked in the dark. Fear still protects us when we step too close to the edge of a cliff or when we sense a threat. Fear is not weakness, it is instinct. But here's the catch. Fear was designed for survival, not for greatness. Fear wants to keep you alive, but not to let you live fully. Fear wants you safe, but small. Fear wants you comfortable, but unfulfilled. The problem is not fear itself. The problem is when fear becomes the ruler of our decisions. That is cowardice. That is paralysis. That is the death of dreams. Which is why bravery matters. Not because it kills fear, but because it puts fear in its rightful place. Bravery says, yes, I feel fear, but I have found something more important. Many people think bravery means being fearless. They imagine heroes as people who never shake, never doubt, never worry. But that's a myth. The firefighter who runs into a burning building feels fear. The soldier who steps onto the battlefield feels fear. The activist who speaks truth to power feels fear. The parent who sacrifices for their child feels fear. Bravery is not about erasing fear. It's about deciding that love, duty, justice, or purpose is more important. Nelson Mandela once said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." That is the heart of our theme today. If bravery means finding something more important than fear, then the real question is, what is your something? For some, it's love, the love of family, of friends, of humanity itself. For others, it's freedom, the refusal to live in chains, even if it means risking life itself. For many, it's purpose, the dream they cannot die without pursuing. For some, it's integrity, the commitment to truth and values, even when lies and compromise would be easier. Your something may be different from mine, but without it, fear will always win. Because fear is strong, but meaning is stronger. Think of it this way. If fear is a storm, your something more important is the anchor. Without the anchor, you are tossed around, helpless. With the anchor, you hold firm, even while the storm rages. History is filled with examples of people who found something more important than fear. Rosa Parks was afraid when she refused to give up her seat, but justice was more important. Mahatma Gandhi was afraid when he stood against the empire, but freedom was more important. Malala Yousafzai was afraid when she spoke for girls' education, but truth was more important. Each of them could have chosen safety. Each of them could have chosen silence. Each of them could have chosen comfort, but they found something more important than fear, and that made them brave. You don't have to be a world leader to live bravely. Bravery is needed in daily life. It takes bravery to tell the truth when a lie would protect you. It takes bravery to forgive when anger feels justified. It takes bravery to pursue a dream when failure seems certain. It takes bravery to walk away from what is toxic even when staying feels easier. It takes bravery to love after you've been hurt, to hope after disappointment, to try again after failure. In other words, bravery is not only for the battlefield, it is for the classroom, the workplace, the home, the heart. It is for every single one of us. To understand bravery, we must understand fear. Fear thrives on three things. One is the unknown. When we don't know what will happen, fear fills in the blanks with the worst-case scenario. Two is the uncontrollable. When we can't control every detail, fear magnifies our vulnerability. Three is the imagined. Most fear is not about reality, but about imagination, things that may never even happen. Cowardice happens when we let these forces paralyze us. Bravery happens when we say, yes, the unknown exists. Yes, I cannot control everything. Yes, my mind paints scary pictures. But what I stand for is more important. One of the great enemies of bravery is comfort. Comfort whispers, stay here, don't risk, don't change, don't stretch, don't try. But comfort zones may feel safe, yet they slowly suffocate us. The life you want is always outside your comfort zone. The version of yourself you long to become is always beyond the wall of fear. Bravery is not reckless. It is calculated risk for something meaningful. It is saying, I will trade comfort for growth. I will trade safety for significance. I will trade ease for meaning. Let's be honest here. Sometimes bravery does not end in victory. Sometimes bravery ends in failure. But hear me, even then, bravery is never wasted. Why? Because failure teaches. Failure strengthens. Failure clarifies. Failure purifies. The coward avoids failure and dies a little more each day. The brave may fail, but they live, they learn, they rise. And often, failure is simply a stepping stone to greater success. Bravery doesn't guarantee you'll always win, but it guarantees you'll always grow. At the end of life, no one says, I'm glad I stayed safe. People say, I wish I had been braver. I wish I had tried. I wish I had lived true. Legacy is not built by safety. Legacy is built by courage. Legacy is built when you choose something more important than fear and live by it. Your children, your friends, your community, they don't remember how cautious you were. They remember how brave you were. They remember the risks you took for love, for justice, for dreams. So how do we practice bravery in our own lives? 1. Name your fear. Fear loses power when it is exposed. Write it down. Say it out loud. Bring it to light. 2. Name your something more important. What matters to you more than fear? What are you willing to risk for? Identify it clearly. 3. Start small. Bravery grows like a muscle. Speak up once. Try something new. Take small risks, and your courage will expand. 4. Surround yourself with the brave. Courage is contagious. Spend time with people who inspire you. 5. Decide daily.
Bravery is not a one-time act, it is a daily choice. Every day you will face fear. Every day you must choose something more important. So, let me ask you right now, what fear has been holding you back? What dream have you abandoned because you were afraid? What truth have you silenced because you feared judgment? What risk have you avoided because you feared failure? And now, what is more important than that fear? Is it your purpose? Is it your integrity? Is it your love? Is it your freedom? Find it, claim it, anchor yourself to it, and then step forward in bravery. Bravery is not about never trembling, it is about trembling and acting anyway.